Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear on this Monday morning, getting ready for a great week of all kinds of things, including some pretty good shows here on Panhandle Outdoors. Let's take a look at our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his hard-working crew up there in Southport, taking care of our everyday needs. Look, it's a 78 today, low of 58. We're looking at the water temperature at the end of the pier is right at 71 degrees now. This coming Wednesday, 2 days from now, we'll be getting ready, taking the most outdoor kids on the pier fishing trip. Or I should say, I will be joining them. I used to take them, so now I just drive out there and joining them. So I'm looking forward to it and getting those kids out there trying to catch some fish off the Panama City Beach Pier. If you want to come join us, we'll be glad to have you out there. Okay, the moon phase, our Monday moon phase, brought to us by Mountain Dew. We had a full moon Saturday, good strong full moon. Now we're on the waning, it started waning down now. But I want you to look at our tide chart. This is what's really cool, brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Today's high tide is going to be at 10:46 and the low is going to be at 9:34. But look at the whole week here, the 18th through on Saturday. Look at the tides, really strong tides. But then look at next week, we're back in those neap tides. So I do want to mention that we have a situation. These are some of the strongest tides we've had this year so far. These are what we call these spring tides, and they really just hit it hard. And there's going to be some really good fishing. So if you have a chance, you can only go fishing this week or next week, you want to go this week because you've got some really strong tides and the moon's on the way down, and the freshwater fishing is going to be picking up this week too. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. You know how we scour around looking for, when a record is taken or something, we just always love to talk about it, even if it's not a Florida record. Well, this is a Mississippi State record, and my son-in-law Walter Woodrick, his sister Dana Woodrick Smith, sent this to us. And this is the Mississippi Department of Wildlife Fisheries, Dana there. Folks, they caught this, I'm gonna show the picture, but they caught it in Brandon. It's a 131-pound catfish on April 7th, 2 weeks ago, near Natchez, Mississippi. Of course, he went on to say it took him 40 minutes to land it, truly a fish of a lifetime. Listen, the old record was 95 pounds in 2009, and larger than a trophy record blue, so it's the biggest one they've ever caught. He caught the fish with a, bottom line, with a rod and reel using skipjack herring as a bait. So I'm gonna show you, this is something else, folks. And this is official now. It's measured by the Mississippi State Wildlife. Look at that, filling up a tailgate. Okay, and look at here. Look what he caught it with. Look at that rod and reel. Is that amazing? That's near Natchez, Mississippi. And I just, when she sent that, I was just amazed at it. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, well, I got to show you one more. This is a hook. Can you imagine that hook held that big old catfish for like 40 minutes? That's the setup right there. He looks like, and that's from the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks. That looks like some of the friends I have. All right, here we go. All right, let's move on along now. Let's see. Fred Myers, okay, look. We talked about Fred Myers last week. Remember, he fished a Friday and Saturday redfish tournament and lost first place by, 7 100s or 9 100s of a pound. That on a Sunday, they had another redfish tournament. You're not going to believe what happened. Okay, got second place again. But I want you to look at the weight here. What did he lose by? 7 100s of a pound. What's the chance of that going on that's on a Saturday and a Sunday, 7 100s of a pound. So I thought, wow, that's something. Our buddy Hal Webb with FWC, he's down at Overstreet Bridge, and he found this. He wanted to use this as an educational post. This is a Florida banded water snake, and often we get them confused with a water moccasin. The body's thick, the head is the key difference. So look at the round eye on a water snake, and it'll puff its head out into the spade-shaped pattern, not the cottonmouth, but the eye's the key to it. So here, this is just the water snake right here, okay? Got that round eye. A lot of people mistake these for the water moccasin. I I've mistaken them before for the water moccasin. See the round eye there? Oh, how well, look, there it is right there. You see that eye? That's not going to be a water moccasin. But the head is shaped like one. There's the bottom part. Good job, how well, for doing that. Paul Thrasher, what kind of fishing is he doing? How about some fly fishing? We're looking at some early season fly fishing here in April. We don't have to wait on the mayflies. The bite was on, and that is a fine catch, Paul Thrasher. And Paul knows what he's doing. He's been there before, okay? But Brad Stevens sent this. If you want to kayak for the summer, let them know ASAP. Okay, down at Brad Stevens at Sunjammers. A few models we already have out for the season, and several models are down to just a few. And so you might be 60-day wait. So good shape in inflatable SUPs. But if you want to kayak for like a present or something, go ahead and get it now. Jerry Shores. Jerry's a true outdoorsman. He posted this: deer are easy keepers compared to cattle. He's in the process of converting the family farm back to a wildlife habitat. It's been a peaceful experience. That's interesting doing that. And so it's just, deer, you don't have to look out, just, throw some corn out. But that's good job, Jerry, and good luck with doing that. Then Howell posted the next day. This is a pigment rattlesnake that I so often talk about. I just showed you pictures of it, and he's got it closer to the camera, not quite that big. But the pigment rattler now, this is poisonous. And you can see, here's the coloring on it. Look at that head. He looks ugly and mean, don't he? I want to show you snake pictures because it's springtime and they're popping out now. I was asking about them the other day. And they're looking straight at him. He's just downright ugly. And here's the markings on him. I have up at my granddaddy's place up there in West Gaston, I have a commune of these things. We just have a bunch of them up there. And I don't like them. Okay, here they are coiled up. This is what I usually see. This had a little coil up right there. And they're not big. They also have them down at Cape Sandblast. Angie Howell, Coughlin. She loves to fish out there on the beach. She lives on the beach and all. Got her kids about grown now. She loves to fish and caught this big old redfish. Look at there, that background. Good job, Angie. Look at there. Releasing them back in the water. That girl can fish too. Okay, we're going to talk. That's enough pictures for now. I did want to talk about those snakes that howl well. He sees them a lot too because he's out there in the process, and he'll pick it up and he posted them, and then of course he released them and all. But again, those pygmy rattlers are prevalent in a lot of areas, and they seem to go in certain areas that they're more than others. Okay, let's take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. They dropped off this announcement right here. The Shriners did. Remember the brim fishing tournament they do each year? I'm just going to give you the date on it. I won't talk a lot about it, but go ahead if you want to mark your calendar. It's going to be Saturday, May 28th. 5-6 weeks away. But if you're like me, you need to go and put it on the calendar. The big Howard Creek brim tournament with Shadow Shriners and the director staff. So that's go and put it on the calendar. Speaking of Howard Creek and all the feeder creeks that go into the big river on the Choctawhatchee and this one, I got a nice text from Terry at Blue Water, and guess what he said? Check this out. Mayflies. I live next to a feeder creek. The mayflies have hatched. Terry from Blue Water Outriggers. Folks, this is breaking news. You heard it first here on Panhandle Outdoors. The mayflies have hatched out in this area. Here they are hanging on up here too. So this is at his house there in a feeder creek that goes into the big river. So I want to talk about this a second about the mayflies hatching at this point in time. This is early. This is sort of mid-April, and the weather's been so doggone just stormy. And I guess just on maybe 1 or 2 good days they've been waiting on it. So, and I do think I call them tribes. I think there are different tribes of them on different locations of the river. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. They're going to pop out here, and then the next week they're going to pop out down here and then come back up here. So to take advantage of it, you just need to spend some time on the river. But the first hatching of mayflies that happened now, and that might have been what Paul Thrasher had found on his reel, because he's one of those guys that go up and down the river and his eyes are to the trees and the water. So that's sort of good advice for outdoorsmen to do that kind of things. Another thing on advice too, I want to mention, I've had a couple of friends of mine that really do a good job in keeping their all their land year round for deer. And one of them been beforehand, he was talking the other day about the price of everything going up, like everything in our country now. But you don't really think about things like seed corn is going from like $6 a bag. He said like $18 a bag. A lot of seed. The seed has just skyrocketed. Also, the fertilizer double. The price of a bag of fertilizer is double since this time last year. So that really puts a lot of, if you have a large area and trying to get it cleaned and all, and try to, the labor is yourself doing it, so that don't go up. But then you get that seed and the fertilizer, your prices will be way over double from last year. So it leads me to talk about the leases. And I've talked about the leases before, how important it is. If you haven't opened on a lease, try to get word out to get the good folks. I try to get some dove hunting leases going, but not going, but just I've got people willing to pay to go in them. So we talk about this every year. We'll talk about it more later in the summer about a good dove lease. But anyway, the price of all that stuff is going up. Okay, so let's go from hunting. Let's jump into what's really going on now this week and next week. Folks, the pompano fishing is on fire. This is going to be a great week to go pompano fishing. And we'll talk about the baits. It's all kind of baits. And, I've always loved natural bait. And then when fish bites came out, I've really using a lot of fish bites now. I hadn't used sand fleas in years, but I consider myself a very good pompano fisherman. I didn't just start doing it 3 or 4 years ago. I started pompano fishing in the 60s. And it's a passion of mine. A lot of times I don't get to do as much as I want to, but I go every year. And so I see people pop up on social media. They were in Atlanta last weekend, but they're down at the Cape this weekend. They caught a pompano, and boom, here's how you do it. So that's fine. But I want to show you, first of all, how to catch sand fleas. We're going to talk about places to go later, but how to catch sand fleas, a little video I did a while back, but it is so appropriate. These sand fleas are natural bait. The lifespan of a sand flea is between 2 to 3 years. And then I mentioned something at the end of it about not putting them in a bucket of water and all. So it's a sort of technique on catching sand fleas, and they are the #1 natural bait for pompano. So Jeff, let's run this little 4 or 5 minute video. Okay, we're on the beach today. We're going to show you how to catch sand fleas. And it's funny, the other day I talked about it in the studio, and the lady, Sue, in the control room thought sand fleas were these little things on a dog, but listen, they're great bait. So we're going to show you how to catch them. Remember, we're going to look for it. First of all, they all have antennas, and they come up out of the sand. They're hard to find, but remember, they're in clumps. They sort of in families, or colonies maybe. And we'll go down beach and show you. Basically, the only equipment you're going to need is this little wire basket right here. Very simple. This came out of my wife's kitchen. We used to cook French fries in it. We don't eat French fries anymore, so we just use this just for sand fleas. So this is really the only equipment. So we're going to sort of scoop them up under the sand. So come on. Okay, what I'm going to do, we look at when the waves are coming back in. You may not see it now. There's a little group of them sort of right down in there. They're coming up as the waves go back in. I'm going to run down there and point them out to you, and then before I try to get any. Go right there. Notice what they'll do. They go right back in the sand. What we do, we catch about 4 nice big ones right here. It'll be good bait. Let me take one out and show you what they look like. Okay. That's a sand flea right there. I'll put them on the ground. I'm gonna show you how fast they are. Okay. Then they dig into the
couple that have little antennas on them. They'll play possum on your boot. See the antenna right there? We'll let this go in the sand. Now what you dig, you may have lost him. Right there, see the little antennas right there? That's sort of what you look for. That's how they, actually how they eat. He's going deeper. He's going deeper, but he's still there. See him right there? Okay. Great sand flea. Right there. Good pompano, baby. We're going to talk about some more in a minute. Six, seven. That's not a bad scoop right there. There's all the antennas coming up, and these are good, healthy ones this time of year. One thing I like to do, if I find a female with the eggs, I don't know if you can see the yellow part inside here. Okay, that's a female, and she's starting to have some eggs. I usually turn around and let these go back. I'm going to release this one back in the surf. We need to say this would be like having a big bass you catch him with some eggs in it. So we're going to let that one go. This is also how they dig. This. Don't get this protrusion. See how they dig so fast right here? We're gonna let this mommy go. Okay, now once you catch a few, you wanna be able to keep them healthy. And what you do now is put them in a small bucket of sand. If you can see these right here, have a little bit of wet sand. These are some I just caught on that last scoop. They're pretty lively. I just dump them in there. I got a couple little ones, I'll let them go. You can see how they'll dig up into the sand and they'll stay safe. And one thing you do not want to do, a lot of people make this mistake, you put water in here, they'll actually drown. They can't really stay in the water the whole night. So I can keep these today and fish with them and keep them overnight and fish with them tomorrow. And they'll stay healthy. The ones that don't use, I sort of let go.
Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. Those little things like that, you catch 7 or 8 at a time, you'll get a bucket full before long, and they're good about surviving too. So you can, if you want, the ones you don't use, just let them go, and it's a lot of fun. So, and I like to do it, but it's so easy to get those fish bites and catch almost as many. But I still want to get back on occasion just to do some natural fishing for pompano. Let's take a look at our fishing game times. Speaking of blue water outriggers, how about the time today? 1:02 a.m. to 3:02. We just passed that. This afternoon, 1:29 to 3:29. And again, we're just talking about surf fishing. We'll talk about pier fishing later. And April and May are the prime months for me, and then in October. And that's, of course, you can catch them year round now. You can catch them 12 months a year if you just put in the time off. Now I want to go back to Google Earth, and I won't get through all of these. I have my 10 spots. I fished all 10 of these spots over the years, and I've caught fish at every one of them. So we're going to start on the western end of our viewing area over there in Walton County, all the way over there to almost to Destin. And one of the first spots, the easiest spot to get to too, is Henderson Beach State Park. Okay, because you can go down to State Park and try to get a State Park pass if you can, and then you have these little walkways here. And walk down there with your buggy and spend time, have bathrooms there and all. It's just a cool place to go. And so I got that. And then I want to go to Santa Rosa. Let's see if I can go to Santa Rosa next. I'm gonna type these in and go right to it. One of the things too, keep in mind when you go to these state parks that it's best to go early, if you can go early in the morning. And because the fishermen they say we're getting away of these people. Anyway, I can't put it up there, Jeff. I'm going to just go to it. The thing about it is, I went over all this last night. Okay, here we go. Santa Rosa Beach, Miramar Beach. These places right in here, Miramar. All right, headed down in here. Oh, I know we got a lot of viewers over in this area, but. And the county's been good about providing little places that the public can go. And I can't find a place. There's a little, let's see, these beach accesses. If you get these beach accesses all through here, this particular beach I want to talk about, there's just some really good beaches as far as, okay, Topsail Hill Santa Rosa Beach, right here. There are all kind of places right here. I found them last night where you have beach access, and just go there and spend some time looking for them. But the stretch of the beach itself is so good. Here is Santa Rosa Beach area down in here. There's some. Let me see if I can find them. I found them some last night. There's some private houses in here, but they have access. See that green right in there? Okay, that's a beach access right there. The Walline Regional Beach Access, W-A-L-L-I-N-E. That's not far to walk, and that's an excellent place. So anywhere on your map you see these green access, and there's another one down here, that green access. Okay, that's Saltview, Gulfview Heights. I've fished out before. Okay, so all those little green, go to Google Earth, and there's another access right here. This is a good one right here. Okay. It's sort of isolated. You don't go have very many houses, very many people around. You're right next to a little redfish lake. Okay, that's all I'm gonna have time to show today. I've got about 7 or 8. I'm working my way all the way from West End all the way down to Carabel and St. George Island, the prime spots to go. Run out of time. We'll try to pick it up tomorrow. Okay, have a great day today. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.